From Darling Stadium in Hampton, WHCS Cable Channel 46 presents Peninsula Girls Soccer, I can't even pronounce it. Hampton Crabbers visiting the Bethel Bruins. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We are at sun-drenched Darling Stadium for this battle between the Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins. We are just underway, and Bob, we are working with a bit of a handicap this afternoon for several reasons. We had some late information given to us, but we are going to follow the action as closely as we can. These are the girls' teams from both Hampton and Bethel. Hampton, of course, in the red jerseys with the white numerals, and Bethel in the white jerseys with the gold numerals. And Bob, unfortunately, we are going to have some difficulty identifying the players from Bethel this afternoon because of those gold numerals.
That's true.
On the attack right now are the Bruins. For those fans who are not familiar with the rules, there will be two 40-minute halves, and the clock will run continuously. Let's identify the goalkeeper for each team if we can, Bob.
Sure, we can do that. For the Sarah Markowitz is the goalkeeper, number one for the Bethel Bruins. She's down at our right, going to our right, and at the left, the goalkeeper is
Grace Shin.
Grace Shin. Yes, she's the one that just kicked the ball. Tim, we do have sponsors for today's game.
And they are Zooms with convenient locations in Hampton. We're not sure just how many anymore.
Well, they're building all the time, so there's more than one. And, of course, Gear Up Printing. Tom Gear is at 827-8277.
And
Woods Funeral Home,
where Richard Pulley is the funeral director.
We do appreciate our corporate sponsors.
We're about,
excuse me.
I started to say, we're about 2.5 minutes into the contest. There is no score. And so far, all of the action has taken place in the Hampton defensive zone. Bruins have had the pressure on since the opening kickoff.
Well, they've advanced the ball down and have kept it down at the their offensive end of the field. We will pick a player of the game for both of these teams. That player will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalder's Engraving, and they're located on Kickotan Road. For all your engraving needs, contact Jim at 723-6067. Dave Buckwalder is the owner. The shirt comes from the Island of Hardware and Sporting Goods, and they're located in Pocosin. They can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment and uniform, plus screen printing. Call Dave Chubb at 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner there.
Now, I want you to know, Bob, that in preparation for this game and the game that's going to follow, which will be the boys' match between these same schools, I have gathered all the information one could ever want about soccer.
Okay, now that you gathered it, have you read it?
Well, I'm just the gatherer.
Okay.
Of course I've read it.
Oh, good. Talking about the goalie, Sarah Markowitz, she's number one. She's an alternate on the Virginia All-Star game in '99. She's a captain of this team, both last year and this year. And for 2 years, 10th, 11th, she was the MVP. She played for the Phillips Select this past fall. She's on a yearbook staff for 2 years, and just a very active young lady.
Now
and she gave me a lot of this information, by the way. I do appreciate it. I want to thank her personally.
But she is at the opposite end of the field where the action is taking place
correct.
Right now.
But I give you what I got.
Yeah, but that is the Bethel goalkeeper, and now we have an infraction, and there will be
it's a very free
illegal
kick.
contact. It'll be a free kick for Hampton, and they will now be going towards the Bethel goal, which is being kept by Sarah Markowitz. Now, the other direction, as we mentioned, Grace Shin is the goaltender who has been getting some action here. In fact, again, the Crabbers getting it out of harm's way.
When we get a chance, we will show you the officials. I believe Andy had a chance to get them. We have two side judges on each side to indicate when the ball goes out of bounds and who has possession.
Well, they're actually called linesmen.
Linesmen, okay. And then we have a guy in the middle. And we have a horn on the other side.
And the middle is the referee.
Okay.
I told you, I know everything there is to know about this. Well, I don't know what there is. I have gathered it. But there are 2 linesmen and a referee. Now, the referee is appointed for each match, and he's responsible for control and safety of the game. The decisions of the referee are final. There is no arbitration here.
Now, the only time that Hampton can substitute is when they're throwing the ball in bounds. Bethel cannot substitute until it's their turn, or they're bringing an inbounds, a throw-in. I learned that last week from Bob Baster. And I do want to appreciate and thank Bob Baster for all his help last week. Tried to get him to come here this week, but since the Kickintan girls are up playing the Gloucester girls for number 1 in the district, I figured he'd probably go there instead of come here.
Well, I will tell you now, dribbling the ball currently is Kara Mandingo. That is number 7 for the Bruins, and she had a shot towards goal. Now, shot on goal is only registered when the possibility of the ball going into the net occurs. If you kick the ball towards the goal and it's not on goal, it is not considered a shot on goal. So I'd clarify that in case you were wondering.
Well, you did good.
A header by the Bruins into the offensive zone, and again, it's cleared into the corner, which will probably precipitate a throw-in on the near side. And again, we apologize, but we are having a devil of a time picking up the numerals on the back of the Bethel jerseys because they are a very faint gold and very difficult to pick up. Again, the attack by the Bruins, they've been in the Hampton defensive zone for the best part of the first 7 minutes of this game.
Well, and Hampton is just kind of packing it back in there, trying to keep the Bruins from scoring. Tim, what breeze we do have is blowing from right to left. As you can see, the flags on the corner positions are, you see them bending over a little bit and all.
I have checked the chronological history of soccer.
You did good.
And it started, are you ready for this, in 1620.
Oh, and that's when they used to use the skulls or the heads of their opponents, right?
I didn't find that in my information here.
Oh, okay.
But this mentions that we have a corner kick, by the way, just to show you what that is from the corner. This can be centered, and the idea is for the Bruins to gain possession and either kick it in or head it into the goal. And this time it goes across the goal line. So,
well, it was hit out by one of the crabbers, so that means it'll be another
corner kick
from the opposite side.
Right.
And the wind is blowing in, so if you get a chance to curve that ball in, that'd be great.
Again, the Bruins with an opportunity here, blocked by a Bruin, and now the crabbers are able to clear it, and it actually crosses the goal line, and again, we'll have a corner either kick or a throw-in.
Tim, all the ball has to do is cross over the line. It can be in the air if it goes over any of the lines on the side or at the end, but if it touches it, it's not out. It's got to actually go over.
Completely over the line.
That's right.
Well, and I'm quite certain that the majority of our viewers are more familiar with soccer than you or I might be, and that's unfortunate, but we have had the advantage before of having some help in our commentary from some people who are at least mild experts, to say the least. I'm going to get this thing out about this 1620 folklore. I want you to know this. Shot
nice.
On goal and a nice save.
Nice save.
The American folklore asserts that Pilgrim Fathers, upon settling at Plymouth Rock, found American Indians along the Massachusetts coast playing a form of soccer. The Indians called it, now you got to listen carefully to this. I'm not making this up. This is right out of it was called Pasukquak Kohowak. And I'm sure I butchered that pretty badly.
Well, you want to spell that?
P-A-S-U-C-K-Q-U-A-K-K-O-H-O-W-O-G, which translated means
soccer.
Soccer. No, which means translated from the Native American language. And we've got an injury right now. We've got a young lady who's been shaken up. But it means they gather to play football. That's what that long multi-syllable word means. So
Well,
that's just
to us, football is a different game. Over in Europe and South America and the rest of the world, football is this.
right. And so that's, I thought that was one of the more interesting. It's Pasakwak Hokamok.
Well, out there on the field is Coach Mark Brower attending to his injured player.
I think one of the young ladies has been cut. I can't tell from here, but
And anyway, and then I want to give the coach for the Bethel Bruins is Irene Berry. Beery. I'm sorry, Beery.
and I think you said, Bob, that there can be a stoppage in play, which will be added on to the 40-minute half, and unfortunately we will not know officially how long, but I would guesstimate that we've had a minute and a half or 2 minutes here, so there will be time added to the running clock, and that's kept by the referee.
It looks like it was the number 17 is the one that's going out.
Yeah, she apparently got kicked, or
That's Sarah
Ralph,
Ralph.
just a junior. She's a midfielder, so she has been helped over to the sideline.
She's holding her head.
Yeah, they acted like she might have been cut. I'm only speculating, so I hope that's not the case.
Well, let's hope it's not serious.
Play will resume, and this will be handled by the referee. And again, control is gained by the Bruins, and there's a shot off the side, and that was by Molly Verlander, and she's been very active. I was able to pick up her number earlier.
She's just a sophomore, Tim.
It's number 17. So as we get an opportunity, as they get a little closer to us from time to time, we do want to identify some of these players. And another one that Carrie Medingo that we saw earlier, number 5, had the ball momentarily. Now the Crabbers almost getting to midfield.
Well, Molly's got a grade point average of 1.4, Tim. She's second year on the varsity.
No, excuse me, I think that's 4.1, Bob, not 1.4.
What did I say? 1.4?
You said 1.4.
Well, 4.1.
Yeah, let's get that right. That's markedly different.
Dyslexia just kicked in there real quick. 4.1, right. She's a varsity cheerleader for 2 years, Key Club, Spanish Honor Society, among other things. Plays mid-forward.
And a 4.1 GPA. We wouldn't be announcing a 1.4 if that weren't.
That's
She
more
wouldn't be
like
eligible
yours
to
and
play.
mine added together, right?
Well, I won't even get into that. A near goal that time as a good save by the goaltender. That's the second save, at least, here in the first half by the Crabber goalkeeper. And by far, she has had all the action. In fact, I'm trying to recall if Hampton has crossed midfield yet.
Well, the one time they got it down, they were just across, but that's about it. The Bethel girls are very offensive-minded. You get down and you want to get a score. If you can get a score quick, you've got the wind to your back in this half. So, in essence, it's easier to score when you got the wind behind you than in your face.
A beautiful afternoon here at Darling Stadium. The temperature at game time right about 80 degrees. A substantial wind, but no humidity, so that will keep it somewhat comfortable. Although I got to tell you, you're down on that field running. Soccer, to me, is one of the most demanding sports that there is because of the continuous play and a huge field. Now, I'm glad you asked. How big
is the field? Tim?
Well, the field can be as little as 100 yards long and as long as 130 yards. And it can be as little as 50 yards wide and as wide as 100 yards. But it cannot be any longer or narrower than 50 to 100.
What do we have here, Tim?
Ooh, we had an almost goal as the ball hit the top of the stanchion, and almost, had that been a little lower, we'd be looking at a goal.
Erica, number 12, came in. I'm going to let you pronounce that last name for me.
I think that's Stensvag.
And she replaced Nicole Creighton
Stensvag.
for the Hampton Crabbers.
Good Scandinavian name. Of course, I spent 4 years in Scandinavia, so I speak fluent Scandinavian.
Oh, do you?
Well, I did at one time, about 35 years ago.
How do you ask for a sausage?
Give me a sausage. Isn't that how you do it? No, actually, now see,
Is that a Polish sausage?
This was a setup because I happen to know a warm Pilsner is a sausage.
Oh, man, I might have known what a hot sausage was.
With senap, which is the Norwegian word for mustard. So don't, warm Pilsner with senap on lumpa, which means it's on a roll. And we are on a roll here. It is the first half, no score, between Bethel and Hampton, and it would seem as if the field were tilted to the left because all of the action has been in the Hampton side of the field. This will be a free kick as the ball had crossed the goal line, last touched by a Bethel Bruin. Kicked into the center of the field. Crabbers still have yet to really get something going on offense. They seem to be kind of playing kind of defensively playing. They're not taking the offense.
Well, when we did the Kickotan and Phoebus boys game, the Phoebus Phantoms deliberately put one more guy back on defense when they had the wind, when they were going against the wind. And it helped them. They only gave up 1 goal and ended up getting 2 goals when the wind was in their favor. So sometimes the coaches make some of those changes where you put more defensive people in because of the other team may be more offensively minded or something.
Mendigo with the kick from the corner. Now the Crabbers try to clear it, and it's right to Mendigo. She bounces it off a defender. In on goal, shot again blocked at the defense. So the Hampton Crabbers have done a good job on defense, but that's basically all they've been able to do. The Bethel goalkeeper has been totally without action.
Hello. Hey, John. This is directly Bob. This is bringing up here and we're doing a ball game. That's okay.
That last play off of a Bethel Bruin. So it'll be a free kick for the Crabbers. This is going to be a free throw in. And the Crabbers almost got across midfield. That was a tackle, Bob.
And that was a good tackle. I'm trying to get the number of that young lady. Looks like
again
22 or something like that.
Something like that.
No, don't have. I got a 20.
Numerals.
Got a 20.
Sounds like it.
Maybe it's a 12.
Well, 20 is a starter.
So it's 12, but I think that may be 12. Might be the stopper at half. Now, I want to say half court midfield. You think I think basketball? Occasionally. David Allen Zooms is recognizing the senior on each one of these soccer teams today with the highest GPA. These players will receive a plaque for outstanding academic excellence. They will receive that plaque the first school board meeting in June. For the Bethel Bruins, it's Elizabeth Orbison with a 3.92, and for the Hampton girls, it's Nora Garcia with a 4.44, Tim, and she's the salutatorian. Congratulations to two young ladies, and we want to thank David Allen Zooms for helping us recognize the players with showed outstanding academic excellence.
The Bruins now with a chance. And a shot just wide to the left.
Is that number 5?
Again, that's number 5 for the Bruins, and that is
Kira
Mendigo. Mendigo. I think that's how they pronounce it. We once again apologize if we mispronounce these young ladies' names. We are at a bit of a handicap. There you saw a replay.
Just because it's us.
Well, we this is our first. We didn't even see these names until about 10 minutes before the game started. So we do apologize, and it's never, ever our intent to mispronounce someone's name, and we certainly don't take that lightly. Right, Bib?
That is true to as you can get, Tim. For all your printing needs, give Tom Gear a call at Gear Up Printing. The number there is 827-8277. Tommy Gear.
Crabbers get the ball across midfield. Unfortunately for them, they kick it out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for the Bruins. And they are once again on the attack. Now they have it go out of bounds, and I believe it will be Hampton ball. We're about 20 minutes into the first half, and there is no score. If you joined us late, Tim Cole and Bob Hins coming to you from Darling Stadium.
Right where
taped on May the 12th.
May the 12th. Right where that young lady threw the ball in, Tim, when we was doing the Kickertan Phoebus girls game, the young lady, Bob Baster's daughter, did a flip to throw the ball in.
Oh, I've seen that before. It's wild.
He says, I think she did it because the cameras were on. I don't know, but that was really neat. Gives her a little more power.
I've seen that before in the pros and the college ranks and the semi-pros, I guess, the AAU. But of course, soccer is a highly skilled sport. It truly is one of the most skilled sports that you can play.
You want to use your hands because everybody uses their hands with a ball.
In
the United States.
Except for the United States, it is universally the most popular sport. South America.
Oh, nice kick.
Europe, there's nothing more followed than soccer, but it's one of those sports that for various reasons has just never caught on in the United States, not to the magnitude that it was expected. But they do have the major soccer league teams now. But again, they just don't have that wide appeal. But it certainly is an interesting game, and it's a very difficult game to play and highly demanding. I marvel at the stamina that these athletes have to have.
Yeah, I think you and I can get across the midfield and just kind of sit down. WHCS Channel 46 welcomes you to the Math Zone. This is a live, televised, interactive call-in program for students to get help with their math. Join Tyler Elementary teacher Cassandra Hamilton and Davis Middle School teacher Sherry Martin every Tuesday and Thursday from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Give them a call at 850-5426 and join the Math Zone.
What's that number again, Bob?
850-5426.
And that's going to be going on all summer,
all
right?
summer long. Scott and his crew just do not rest.
You know, we talked before. They haven't had many stoppages of play here, but I was going to, when the opportunity arises, I'm going to try and explain the most difficult rule for most fans to understand about soccer, which is the offside call.
Yeah, Bob Baster explained that to me last week, but I could not reiterate that to you right at this
Well,
point.
it's a very, very intricate rule because it's open for interpretation.
Right. Well, don't you have the same thing in hockey? Because I know you used to.
No, that's the problem. It is not. It is in hockey. It's a very clear-cut thing, whereas the offensive team cannot precede the puck into the defensive zone or the blue line zone of the defending team.
Bob Baster said it's like cherry picking. You cannot do that.
Right.
Like you can in basketball, send somebody down the court before you get the rebound and get possession of the ball. He says you can't do that in soccer.
Exactly. But to give you the rule, and I will, the offside rule is there must be two defensive players between the offensive player and the opponent's goal when the ball is passed to him or her. So in other words, you can't just, as you said, you can't just be laying back there. There has to be at least two defensive players in the same zone when the ball is passed to that player.
Right.
The key is that when the ball is passed and not when it is received. A player can only be offside in his opponent's end of the field, obviously. You're not going to be offside on defense. A player cannot be offside if he received the ball in an onside position and then does not pass it. A player can be in an offside position, but the referee will not call offside if he feels like the player was not involved in the play. So even in this case, there can be some rule interpretation. If the referee thinks that the player that was offside wasn't involved in the play, then it's okay.
Right, okay. We were talking about number 5, Kira. Tim, she's been playing soccer for 10 years. That's about as long as she's probably been walking.
That's right.
And she plays any position wherever she's needed. I think that's kind of neat because some people excel at just one position. She could play anywhere. Yeah, we have multiple substitutions. I wish we could give them, but I can't even read the numbers. And those that I think I can, there is a ponytail hanging down right in the number. So,
But in any event, this is one of the rare occasions in the first half that Hampton has been in the Bethel zone, or at least across midfield in the Bethel side of the field. Most of the action has been down in the Hampton end, and we are about 25 minutes into the first half, and we use that phrase 25 minutes because there is no official clock for us to view, and the game did start right at 4, so we're moving right along. 2 40-minute halves. We will remind you that we'll have the boys contest between these two schools. That will also be seen right here on Channel 46.
I believe that's number 16 for the Phantoms. Oh, maybe it's 18. Or, no, 16 could be. Vicky Montjoy did a great job of breaking up a intended throw-in.
And another shot on goal. An easy save for the goalkeeper, but a shot on goal nonetheless. And so far, the Crabbers have not registered a shot on goal, although they are starting to get some of the offensive play in the Bethel side of midfield. And I was hoping my allergies would kick up again. I've got enough antihistamine in me to sink a battleship. To little avail.
Well, I see number 14 for the Bruins, and I'm not just picking on them because the first time I get the chance to see a number. They're over here real close. That's Ruby Rathbun, and along with her was number 15 for the Hampton Crabbers, and that was Angelique Bottomley.
From a attractive color scheme, the gold numerals are quite nice. From an announcer's point of view, they are the worst thing you can have against a white uniform in a bright sunlight day. Almost impossible to discern. Again, the Bruins on the attack. Pass to the left wing.
Looks like number 9,
dribble.
Tim.
Nice dribble by number 9 for the Bruins, and that would be Sarah Topping. Again, the goalkeeper comes up with the ball, and a goalie kick.
I'm assuming we showed the starters on the screen. Andy had them down there. I didn't get a chance to look to see if they're up there, but we've had a few substitutes since then, so we'll try to pick up what we can and give you what we got.
Watching this Sarah Topping, nice pass in the zone, and just misfiring was Kira Mandigo as she had a shot at it and quite frankly missed the ball. It didn't hit it squarely, but it would just seem inevitable that the Bruins are going to score a goal here. They've just
we have a hand on the ball.
Had just too many opportunities. Crabbers' offense just hasn't clicked. They just don't seem to have the same ability to get something going on offense that the Bruins do. Now they do, in fact, get it on the right wing, and it is played by Angelique Bottomley, as you mentioned earlier, number 15. Rita Heitman is also over there, number 14, and now back to play it is Melissa Faust, number 1 for the Lady Crabbers.
And you'll see some of the things that that happens as soon as the Crabbers got that ball across midfield, Tim. There were there was a defensive player matched up with each one of the offensive players. So the Bruins do a good job defensively.
And a good job of stealing the ball by the Bruins. Outmanned, the Bruins were still able. You can see a great job of dribbling the ball by Mandigo. She is clearly a very talented soccer player. If you'll watch, she will dribble with either foot. This one goes out of bounds. Now there will be some substitutions for the Bruins. And again, we wish we could tell you who the players coming in and out are, but unfortunately from our vantage point, we just can't pick up their numbers. Now the Crabbers now with a chance to move the ball upfield. They centered, but unable to handle the centering pass. That was Ashley Daub. Boy, this Kira is something. She has really got the moves. Centering pass, and this one is taken by the goalkeeper, and it got away from her. But the shot was on the outside of the goal. It was a little deceiving for a moment there.
Yeah, it really was, but that was a great job of going for the ball before the goalkeeper had a chance to grab it. And again, I believe that was, wasn't that Kira?
I believe so. This will be a Hampton throw-in, and it will be Melissa Faust who will do so. She played it to Laura Crocker, number 11, but stolen by the Bruins. And again, the Bruins with a shot on goal, but this one again handled by Grace Shin.
She's getting a lot of activity down there at that end.
Playing the ball for Hampton, that's Melissa Parrott, number 5. Played out of bounds, I believe it was Rachel Watterson who last had it, and now will throw in for Hampton. There is no score. Scoreless here at about 30 minutes into the first half. And again, the Bruins now with a chance, a shot on goal, and it gets past the goalkeeper for a goal.
And who got that?
As soon as I get a number, this the young lady right
there in the center of your screen.
Well, I see who it is. I just haven't been able to make out her number yet. I think that's number 14.
Here you go. There's the replay.
And if she turns around, we'll identify her as best we can. In any event, the inevitable has occurred. The Bruins have scored to take a 1-0 lead. That might be Elizabeth Orbison. I think it's number 18, but
well, if we can get them to turn back to us, of course they're not going to do that intentionally.
Oh, she will sooner or later here. We'll get it.
She's on the other side of the field, which makes it tough.
She's a forward, and I'm pretty sure that's Orbison, but see if we can confirm.
I can see part of the number, but I can't make it out.
There's a free kick for Hampton. Hampton with their deepest penetration. Ball off of the Bruins, so it'll be a throw-in for the Crabbers. And that'll be Angelique Bottomley. Now she'll in fact give the ball to Kathy Sparkman, who throws in. All right. I can't make out her number.
I saw you look and say, oh, well.
It could be 13 and it could be 18. You know, the 8 and the 3 are very similar. I feel foolish not being able to.
Well, it's either Sarah Bennett then or Elizabeth Overson.
Wait a minute. It's.
I know Elizabeth Overson's got dark hair because I met
Okay.
her earlier.
Well, thanks, but I was
That's
almost
her
sure.
again on a breakaway, Tim. And that looks like almost looked like number 12.
It could be any one of those, unfortunately.
We have a replay on that breakaway. Can we zoom in?
This is my biggest challenge now is to determine what that number is. It's a double-digit number. I think it's Sarah Bennett. I think it's 13. Since you're telling me that Elizabeth Orbison has dark hair, is that
Yeah.
what you said?
Yeah.
We apologize. This is just very unfortunate that we can't make out the players. But we'll find out for you. In any event, the Bruins have the 1-0 lead. See, Bennett is a defensive player, so that's what leads me to believe that it's either, it could even be 19.
Yes, it could.
Where is she right now? She is in the middle of the field. She plays on the right wing, and that's, we know it's not 14, because there's
Right,
14.
14's right down in front of us, and that's Rathbun, that's Ruby.
This is our task for the afternoon. Intercepted by the Crabbers. And that's 16 dribbling, so we've eliminated her, although I don't even see a 16 for Bethel. Yes, I do, 16. Well.
So we're narrowing it down a little at a time.
And the first half is winding down, intercepted by the Bruins. Now the Crabbers get it back and try to clear it. Centering pass, intercepted by Hampton. Now they try to work it up the field. And they finally do. So their first real offensive surge here.
The only time she turns her back is when she's on the other side of the field, and I just don't have the eyes to get all the way over there.
Well, I'm going to guess that that goal came at about the 35-minute mark. And Kira's shot is
Whoa,
just,
what a nice shot.
I'm not sure the goalkeeper got a hand on it or not, but it.
I think she did, Tim, just enough to get it off to the side.
But the case here will be if, in fact, the goalkeeper did touch it, then it'll be a corner kick rather than a goalie kick.
And that is. And guess who's going to do the goal, or the corner kick? Tim, get the number, get the number. That is her. Get the
elusive
camera
one.
on the corner kicker. Zoom in. I cannot read that number. I cannot read that number.
It just glistens in the sunlight, and you just can't make it out. She gave us a chance. Another ball handled by the goalkeeper.
She said, I'm going to come all the way over here and give you a chance. Guess what? We still couldn't get it.
Well, we're hearing someone say it, Mel Rathbun. They think it must be number 19. I heard someone say that.
Is that what you said, number 19? Okay. 19, that's what showed up on the shot.
Finally, we have been able to identify the goal scorer.
We gave it to everybody but the right one.
Not through a lack of effort.
Yeah, it looks more like 19 now that I look at it. It looks like a circle at the top for one of the numbers. So.
Well, but see, that's what I'm saying. It could have been an 18 or a 13, because that, it was just very difficult to see. I want to thank Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director, for once again being a corporate sponsor for our coverage of high school sports here on Channel 46. We appreciate the efforts and the support by Wood's Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director. Again, shot handled by the goalkeeper. To this moment, there has not been even a shot towards the Bethel goal, let alone a shot on goal.
Sarah Markowitz probably thinking people just don't like her, but I bet she appreciates not having all that kind of action going on down there.
Well, at halftime, I'll be working my way down to the concession stand to get
Yeah,
one of those
sure
world-famous Darling Stadium hot dogs.
Are there some hot dogs down there?
I don't think so.
Good. How you doing? No ball, dude?
Huh?
No practice or anything today?
No, we're all done.
And again, the ball handled by the goalkeeper.
So at least you didn't have on the ball.
No, I know.
That's good.
Yeah. Are you guys in the next one?
No.
Oh, you got you guys know.
Second game, we'll get out of here.
I'll be there. I'll eat some.
Appreciate that.
I'll see you later.
Okay.
The first half rapidly coming to a conclusion. The goal scored by the Bruins by, we've determined now, Mel Rathbun. The only score here in the first half.
And if you look at her sister Ruby, Tim, they look very similar. They have the same color hair and everything, so now it's starting to make sense, and that's the end of the first half of play.
So we have played one half here at Darling Stadium, and the score at halftime for the girls' soccer match is Bethel 1 and Hampton 0. We'll return to Darling Stadium with the second half of action after a brief timeout.
She's okay. Yeah, they did.
Huh? All right, second half is just underway here at Darling Stadium. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz as we bring you this girls' soccer match. Score at halftime was Bethel 1 and Hampton 0. The only goal of the first half scored by Mel Rathbun. And now the Bruins on the attack, but they can't keep it in bounds, so it'll be a throw-in coming for the Lady Crabbers. Bob, we were going to, one of the things we wanted to do here in the second half was wanted to go down the roster for each of these squads and mention a little bit something about each one of them if we had anything, or certainly mention the starters.
Do that for me. You get the name, and I'll see what I got.
Well, let me do this for you in numerical order. How about that? We'll make it even.
Mine's not in numerical order.
Oh, it's not?
That'll be okay.
Oh, okay. I was trying to work out with you here.
Well, I got a number 2.
All right. Number 2, that would be Pam Carroll.
Right. She's got a 4.3 GPA, and she's played 2 years. Okay.
Number 1, as we mentioned, is the goalie.
That's Sarah Markowitz.
Sarah Markowitz.
Yes, I've already talked about Sarah during the first half.
All right. Number 3 is Angela. And again, we apologize for any mispronunciations. It looks like Angela Pergin.
You got some spotters.
She's
over
a
there.
sophomore. We have spotters. Is that what these folks are?
You got
All
spotters.
right. Can they announce? Because we'll put them right to
You
work.
just want to turn it right over to them? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I don't have a number. I don't have a 3.
Okay. Number 5, we have more than discussed. That's
Right.
Kira Mandigo. You mentioned a little bit about her earlier.
That's correct.
Number 7, Katie Goodson.
Let me see if I got Katie.
She was a starter.
7, yeah, Katie's been 2 years on the varsity, led her last season. She's just a junior. She's got a 4.28, ranked number 4 in her class. Plays both midfield and fullback.
And by the way, it would appear that we have a change of goalkeepers.
Yeah, Hampton said that they would change goalkeepers in the second half, and this Melissa Faust will be playing goalie. She's just a 9th grader.
Okay. Let's see if we have anything on Crystal Cheever.
What
She's
number
a
is
sophomore, number 8.
Number 8. Let me see what we got on Crystal.
While we're discussing this, you're watching the action. It's, again, occurring in the Hampton side of the field predominantly.
Crystal is a 10th grader. She got a 3.89 GPA, ranked 27th in her class. She plays forward. Last year's junior varsity girls team. Played fullback and center. Was voted the coach's MVP for her junior varsity awards.
What about number 9, Sarah Topping? I think we mentioned her a couple of times in the first half.
Let's see what I got. Sarah is a halfback or forward and played 2 years. That's what I have on her.
Okay. Stephanie Gray, number 10.
We looking. We looking.
In the meantime, it'll be a free kick for the Bruins.
No number 10, Tim.
How about 11, Caroline Lawson?
Well, let's see what we got here. Number 11, you said?
Yes.
Right. She's was JV last year. She plays on the Winter League, Northampton League, and is just a 9th grader.
Frances Hancock, number 12. She's a junior.
These were in order to make it much easier. Did we do number 3? Who is number 3?
Number 3 is Angela Purgeon. You couldn't find
I
anything on
found
her.
something. She's got a 3.8 GPA, and she's been playing for 2 years. Now, who am I looking for?
Number 12?
Number 12, Frances Hancock.
Yes.
She plays the stopper. She played JV as an 8th grader. Been varsity 9 through 11 as a starter. She was made best defensive player as a 9th grader. Played 10 years in the Hampton Soccer Club, 2 years in the Phillips Soccer select team. This is her 13th year playing soccer. My goodness.
She started the day she was born. I mean,
I don't know. It seems
must have
like
been about 3. That's pretty strong unless she's a very old senior. Let's see.
Well, I'm not saying you said that. I didn't say that.
Well, she's actually a junior, so.
Okay. What we got next?
Sarah Bennett, number 13. She's a sophomore. She plays defense. I know that much.
What color is this one? Red or yellow?
I don't have. Oh, 13. There's Sarah. She plays fullback, 3.5 GPA, just a 10th grader. Second year playing varsity, led her last year. Plays defensive, ran cross country, swam on the swim team, is on the Latin Club, Kietz, and FBLA. She's very active. Sarah Bennett.
Highlighting again some of the players for the Bethel squad as they are on the attack. This is a good opportunity. It's a 2-on-1 and a goal. And that is Kira.
How about that little dance? Nice job. What's the next number we're looking at?
We're looking at number 14. That is Ruby Rathbun.
I don't think I have anything on either one of the young Rathbun ladies. Young ladies, let me see. Here's, have something on Melanie.
Okay, we'll get to her in a moment.
That's 19.
She was the scorer earlier. How about Simone Rowland, number 15?
Well, I had some. Where's 15? Where's 15? Here we go. She's a junior. Played JV last year.
They hung up.
How about 16, Vicky Mountjoy? She's a
She's a
sophomore.
halfback, got a 3.99 GPA, and has been playing for 2 years.
And again, the Bruins on the attack. Pass to the right wing. Kira with a back pass. And the shot is not on goal, and it was not played by the goalkeeper, so that will allow the Hampton squad for a free kick.
Okay,
Let's
what
see, we
number
stopped.
got next?
What did we stop with here? Vicky Mountjoy, did you say 16? I don't think we had anything. Molly
16,
Verlander,
yeah.
number 17.
Number 17.
Midfielder, sophomore.
I think they might have a 17. Let me see. Yes. Molly has got a 4.1 GPA, 2 years lettered on the varsity, cheerleaders, Kiettes, Spanish Honor Society.
18, Elizabeth Orbison, the one who was momentarily given credit for that goal.
Elizabeth is 12th grader. She's got a 3.94, I think, GPA. She's the young lady who will receive the Academic Excellence Award. She's team captain for 2 years, second team district last year, led it all 3 years, member of the Bethel Band, debate, National Honor Society, and she's going to be going to William & Mary in the fall. And you want number 19 next?
That's Mel Rathman, who did in fact score the goal. First goal.
And she's been on the team for 4 years now, has played and led her 4 years. She's in the National Honor Society and plans to go into the Navy in the fall.
20, Christine
I figured we'd have 20. I
Davila.
don't know if we got a 20. Yeah, we go, Christine. How do you pronounce that last name? Christine, how's the last name pronounced?
Well, it's spelled Davila.
Okay, I couldn't read it.
Davila.
She's a defensive midfielder, played varsity as a freshman. She was at a school called Western Hornet High in North Carolina.
And that does conclude our highlighting of the players for Bethel High School.
And I apologize for the inability to give you much on the Hampton young ladies, but the coach left it at home. So let me give you what I got, and then you can go through the roster and just kind of mention them, Tim.
Okay.
I got Nora Garcia. She's, of course, got a 4.44, ranked number 2 in the class, salutatorian, plays forward. She's on the swim team, the tennis team, cross country, outdoor track. See what else I've got. We've got number 6.
Ashley Dobb.
Oh, that
Dobby?
That doesn't look like Ashley Dobby.
No. Well, we'll just run down the roster, or you do have a little bit of information on it, but in any event, and we, again, will hopefully a little help over here. We'll have Melissa Faust, number 1. She's a freshman. She is in goal now. Number 2, Shannon Eason, sophomore, plays defense. Goalie who started the game, played the first half and allowed the 1 goal. That was Grace Shin, number 3. Misty Williams is a sophomore. She is number 4. This is a very young team that Hampton has.
Young lady, just some nice defensive save, Nora.
Nora Garcia.
Yes.
Number 4, Misty Williams. Number 5, Melissa Porret. Porret? Porret. Ashley Dobby, number 6. Number 17, a little out of sequence here, is Sarah Ralph.
She was injured.
That's the
She was the young lady who was injured.
Yes, her eyebrow was like open.
Yeah, I thought that she was cut. Unfortunately, she needed medical attention. 8 is Rachel Waterston.
My best friend.
Kathy Sparkman is number 9. She is a junior. Nora Garcia, who we mentioned a moment ago, is number 10, a senior. Laura Crocker, number 11, is a junior. She plays forward. Erica Stensvag is a senior. 13 is Diana Bisbee. She's a sophomore. Rita Heitman is number 14. She is also a sophomore. Number 15 is Angelique Bottomley, a junior. Nicole Creighton is a sophomore. She's number 16. And Jennifer Weiss is a sophomore, number 18. And, of course, the coach is Mark Bauer.
Well, I'm glad we got all those in. That helps. We mean to do some things, and sometimes we can't, but we will pick a player of the game from both of these two teams today. And that player will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalder's Engraving. They're located on Kickotan Road. And the shirt comes from the Island of Hardware and Sporting Goods, and they're located in Poquoson. Zooms.
Oh, yeah, Zooms. Hey, they got a couple of those right around the corner here. They closed one down.
This was the one they closed. They sold
Well, they also
this
closed another one. They closed one at Woodland Road and Mercury. I went in there to get a big gulp for the Phoebus game last week. And
well, they're redoing it.
Yes, they are. Yes. They're redoing it. But it didn't help me. I couldn't get my drink.
Well, but they did close this one over here. I mean, they actually sold it. It's no longer a Zooms. But what can you get at Zooms?
You can get Citco gas.
Oh, yes, but then I'm hungry. What can I get?
Well, you can get a lot of other stuff. You can get fried chicken, you can get subs, Coca-Cola, you can get Beantown coffee, Krispy Kreme donuts. They got everything. They got that potato wedges. They got all that stuff at Zooms. And we do thank them for being one of our corporate sponsors.
Absolutely. And, of course, we want to thank Tom Gear as the place to go for your next printing job, of course, is Gear Up Printing. They can take care of all your printing needs. Just give them a call at 827-8277. That's Tom Gear. And talking of Tom Gear, he is on the board of directors of Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Peninsula, and they have over 200 little brothers looking for big brothers. If you're interested in this program, give the Big Brothers Big Sisters office a call at 827-0110. And they need volunteers to spend 4 to 5 hours a week with a little brother. Kids start as young as 6 years old, so give them a call.
Got a shot on goal from midfield, so it took a long shot to register a shot on goal for the Crabbers. And they are a very young team. I was looking at the roster while you were just talking about that. They only have 2 seniors on the entire squad, and most of the players on this team are sophomores.
Finally, Sarah's getting a little work down there.
Travers putting some pressure on the Bruins.
Well, it's 2-0.
We are about 15 minutes into the second half. 40-minute halves. Clock does run continuously. Now the Bruins, left wing pass, a 1-on-3, and a good job of getting back on defense and stealing the ball. That was a fine effort by Melissa Porrette. But again, the Bruins on the attack relentlessly. And this goes over the goal line. It'll be a free kick for Hampton. Just a reminder that we will also have the boys contest between these two schools. It'll be here on Channel 46. Time and date will be shown on the information board.
We do want to thank David Allen Zooms for recognizing the senior on each one of these soccer teams this year with the highest GPA. They will receive a plaque for outstanding academic excellence. We're giving them for our spring sports, the softball, baseball, and girls and boys soccer. At Bethel High School, softball is Nicole McDonald. The baseball is Travis Cobb. And the girls, of course, is Elizabeth Orberson. I don't have the boys soccer represented right now. In Hampton, softball, Cheryl Tate. Baseball is
What a great move. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that was an excellent move.
Oh, they got a goal.
That was a beautiful play from midfield by the Bruins. She did a great job of dribbling around the defender, got into the zone, and then scored. And that is number 4 for the Bruins. Alicia Hill. That was just a superb effort.
Sure was. Well, let me go back and
did it all by herself.
Softball for Hampton, Cheryl Tate. Baseball is Gabe Hildegass, and the girls soccer is Nora Garcia. When I have the boys, I'll recognize those during the boys contest.
So an end-to-end action that time for Alicia Hill. She just beat 2 defenders and scored to make it 3-0.
And we have a change in goal for the Bruins, and I don't know who that is. Maybe we'll ask one of our spotters.
I think our spotters are from the other side.
Oh, well, they can't help us there. Well,
We have a one-sided spotter system here. There aren't any other goalies listed. Now, interestingly, the Hampton offense has been showing some signs of life here, but I think they're starting to tire on defense because the Bruins have just continued to put that relentless pressure on them. Great centering pass.
that was, and I think that may be the Sarah Markowitz that came out of goalie. I believe that's who it is. She really shows a lot of skill in dribbling that ball.
This is Hill again. Just a great exhibition of dribbling and passing on that last offensive surge. Centering pass blocked. This is Hill again. She, you just see the difference in the skills that she and Kira and Rathman have. It's just, you can just see the difference. It's a very skillful game, and it's starting to show.
And as we mentioned, how long some of them have been playing soccer.
They got all these different select soccer teams, and at various levels, soccer is played by a great number of young people in our area. So this will be, in fact, Hill thought it was a throw-in for Bethel, but in fact it was a free kick for Hampton. The linesman ruled that the ball last touched by the Bethel Bruins before it went out of bounds. About halfway through the second half, as we've played right at 20 minutes of the second half of this contest. And it is Bethel. I think I've got all the scoring. Bethel 3 and Hampton nothing. They had a 1-0 lead at halftime, and Kira Mandigo has scored along with Alicia Hill for the Bruins to make it 3-0 to go along with the first half goal by Mel Rathman.
What a beautiful day today, Tim. It's in the mid-70s. Nice breeze.
Surprised to see you weren't up here with a golf club in your hand.
No, that was yesterday.
I see. It's just been a gorgeous week. Can't complain about the weather, although I understand it's going to go away here tomorrow and Friday.
Yeah, they're saying we might get a little rain, but that's okay.
Hampton on defense now. That was number 2, Shannon Eason, playing the ball for Hampton, and that is Shannon now going back on defense, trying to defend against Hill, and blocked by
nice
the goaltender.
Try. But that would have gone in, had to go.
Shot on goal, exactly, and it was deflected, and it will set up a corner kick for the Bruins. This will be Kira with the corner kick. Right-footed kicker. Centers it and blocked at the defense. Good job by the Hampton Crabbers to break that up. And a good centering pass. Again, the Bruins try to stop on defense. Now the Crabbers get it at midfield. Only to have Bethel coming back the other way with Hill at right wing. The young lady that was just dribbling the ball for Hampton is one of my choices, Bob, for player of the game for them. She's played very well, Melissa Perrette.
And you get to pick them.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Wait a minute. No, I'll pick one. You pick the other.
Oh, okay. I can do that. Hey, I'm hearing you guys. I'll do it.
Free kick coming for Hampton. That'll be number 10, Nora Garcia.
Andy Foley says when it's 3-0, it's 3-0. I'm going to say that only because Andy Foley asked me to.
Well, that is another term that can be used.
Or goose egg.
I have about 17 different ways you can say 0 if you want.
Who's the spotters we had up here?
Rachel Blair,
Our spotters were Rachel Blair,
Tanya Gardner,
Tanya Gardner,
Dustin Gross.
Dustin.
Dustin Gross.
Oh, I couldn't hear the last name. Okay, you got it. We do appreciate them coming up here and helping us because it sometimes it's hard to catch the numbers, but they're helping us out. Bethel didn't have anybody over there that could help us, so these three are from the Hampton Crabbers.
I didn't get a chance to share a lot of this hockey history or soccer
you
history.
got a whole nother game to go.
Oh, that's true, but I got a lot of it here. Did you know that in 1820 American colleges played soccer, but there was no intercollegiate competition? Rules were casual and they were changed often. So it sounds like
Depending on
they just-
who was the home team.
that's right. The rules were fluctual.
The new goalie is Ruby Rathbone.
Thank you. The new goalie, we're told, is Ruby Rathbone for Bethel.
Yes.
Hey, that's our
Appreciate
spotters doing a good job.
That's right. Out of breath for having done so, but they got that information. That was the part that was counting. I did find out that so far, at least unofficially, Hampton has not won a game this year. But again, we mentioned that it's a very young team, mostly sophomores. In fact, the goaltender right now is a freshman. Just 2 seniors on the entire squad. So a bright future ahead for Hampton.
We don't know what the record is for the Bruins, huh?
We have Hampton spotters here, Bob. I'm working with a handicap.
You're working with a handicap. No, you're not.
Do you know the most famous soccer player in history's name? Do you remember that name?
Pelé.
Pele.
Pelé
Yep.
from Brazil.
The American in 1975, the American team, the New York Cosmos, signed Pele for an unheard of $4.5 million.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, that was without even a national television contract to help pay for that. In 1977, Pele participated for both sides in a farewell game at Giant Stadium between Cosmos and Santos, his old team from Brazil, in front of a crowd of 77,000 people. That was the kind of draw that Pele had. He was probably the most famous athlete worldwide ever. When you consider the international popularity of soccer. His name was synonymous with soccer.
So you could say Michael Jordan was the basketball Pele.
But even more so, quite frankly, Pele
No,
worldwide is even more renowned than Michael Jordan or any other athlete because of the worldwide appeal. The fact that they play in the Orient, they play in the Mideast. I mean, soccer is just the true international sport.
Yeah, Ricky.
Have you ever?
We got a little action going down towards the.
You ever watched indoor soccer? That's a very exciting
I've
sport
watched
to
that.
watch.
That is they play it off the wall. You like
Yeah.
billiards. You play it those glancing blows off the side.
Of course, now going back in my history here, soccer goes all the way back to the 1100s in England. And are you ready for this, Bob? To 2500 BC in ancient China they played soccer.
Yeah, well, Genghis Khan used to play it using.
I don't want to hear about that.
Yeah, well, okay.
You said earlier, but I don't think. But the earliest mention that researchers have found of a soccer-like game states that balls made of animal skin were kicked through a gap in a net stretched between poles 30 feet high. Records indicate that this was played as part of the emperor's birthday celebration in China, 2500 BC. Substitutions taking place. Approximately 30 minutes into the second half here. We have roughly 10 minutes remaining. Join us late. It's Bethel and Hampton. Soccer from Darling Stadium on the 12th of May, 1999. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and the entire Channel 46 crew. Let's talk about our crew this afternoon. We've got Sarah Bowers down on one camera, down here in front of us, and Nathaniel Braxton working the high camera. Andy Foley, audio and graphics. Scotty Bowers, of course, is our director. And do you know if Bev is here?
That's supposed to be here, yeah.
Beverly Penn, we'll give her credit for doing the replay if in fact she's here. She is. I hear she's here. I heard her. Okay. Thank you, folks, for your, as always, great effort. This would be a shot on goal handled and finally controlled. And it looks like the goalkeeper may have had her hand stepped on. So that's going to be a little tender, I would imagine. Didn't clear the ball very well, and then it's touched a hand pass or a hand touch. Will give the free kick to Hampton. That phone rings more than my office phone rings. You know that?
They're trying to get Ricky, I think. Ricky's not here.
And then in a few minutes, Ricky's going to call and say, "Any messages for me?"
Oh, nice pass.
Uh-oh, this could be a golden opportunity. Good save.
Nice.
Excellent save by Melissa Faust as she saved a goal there. Kira Mandigo was in on goal and ready to score. She just got a hand on it. Did go out of bounds, and that will set up a corner kick for the Bruins. Good save by the freshman. Knocked across the goal line, and I believe that was hit by the Bruins, so that'll be a free kick for Hampton.
And that was the young lady that got the first goal, Tim. That,
Mel Rathman,
yes.
quick
Did a back
substitution.
kick. You know, the ball came through, and she almost kicked it and almost got the referee.
In for Hampton is Rita Heitman, number 14. So I'm going to pick the Hampton player of the game, and I'll let you see. Yours is a little easier.
Yeah, well, I've picked mine. I'll let you announce it.
Okay. Bob's selection, and I would concur, for player of the game for the Bruins, and it wasn't a clear-cut decision, as we've had some excellent play by a number of players on offense. But he is going to go with Kira Mandigo. I hope that's how her name is pronounced. And I got to tell you, I'm impressed with the effort by Hampton. They've had a very tough season, but a young team that will gain great experience from this year, and almost all sophomores and juniors, so they'll be back next year, and I'm sure that will help Mark Bauer put together a better effort.
You're right, and
no lack of effort. I don't
you
mean
can see that action right there. That it's
Yep.
it's not an easy sport here.
Mathman's shot stopped, the goaltender, and into the goal. That would be a second one for Kira.
Well, I tell you what, that goalkeeper did all she could to keep that ball out. She must have stopped it 2 or 3 times before Kira got it in there.
So her second goal of the game, making the score now Bethel 4-0, 4-0. Andy.
Yeah, I got to keep Andy happy. He has little to look forward to.
Well, that has an ominous ring to it.
Well, you know, this guy does, you know, Andy he's got the new Volkswagen, and that's really
is that
what
his car?
Oh, that's what he loves. I tell you, he gets in that thing and he grows about 4 foot.
That
He
is quite
loves that Beetle.
that's a good-looking automobile.
Yes, it is. But if it wasn't for that in soccer, he wouldn't have a whole lot going on.
Well, I'm sure Andy has a lot more than that going on.
Oh, you know, I'm kidding him.
Now, he is a soccer buff, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Well, you ought to be up here helping us.
Well, he was telling me about windmill kicks and all these other things. I said, Andy, don't confuse me with just kicking the ball.
Approximately 5 minutes remaining in the contest. Hampton on the short end of a 4-0 score. 2 goals by Kira Mandigo, 1 by Alicia Hill, and 1 by Mel Rathman.
Who's getting the player of the game. Here's my pen.
You can borrow this
pen somewhere.
What girls or guys? Probably guys. We beat these guys at one point. Which one? He was telling me he did not take my money out of the game.
Who did you pick?
He did.
Who did you pick?
Oh, my pick was Melissa Perot. But a good effort by a number of Hampton players. They, in spite of their record, there's no lack of effort on their part. And they're playing a more talented Bethel team. It's clear that Bethel has some players with some excellent skills. It was close, 1-0 at half. And 3 well-earned goals here in the second half for the Bruins. And now they steal again. And unable to put the shot on goal. Less than 5 minutes remaining in the contest.
Thank you.
You saw the score. Hampton 0, nil, nada, zippo, all those things.
No.
And Bethel with 4 goals. Again, we do want to remind you that we'll have the boys contest between these two schools also here on Channel 46. This will be wrapping up our regular season spring coverage of baseball, softball, and soccer. Possibly some playoff games to be considered as we go into that part of the season here as we approach the end of the school year. A long kick played by the goalie, Melissa Faust. This one shot wide of the goal. This will give Hampton a free kick. Bob has gone down to interview some of the players after the game. Oh, you're not? Are you still here?
I'm still here. I'm working on
Working
here, trying to get some stuff squared away for Andy for the second game. But I do want to remind you of the Mass Zone, which is a live televised interactive call-in program to help students with their math. Join Tyler Elementary teacher Cassandra Hamilton and Davis Middle School teacher Sherry Martin every Tuesday and Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Call 850-5426. Join the Mass Zone.
I'll tell you one thing. After you play one of these soccer matches, you sleep pretty well that night, I promise you.
You think so, huh?
These athletes do not stop running from the time they start till the time it's over with. There is constant movement. You know, a lot of people say, well, baseball doesn't require much stamina because, you know, you're only moving a little bit of the time, and there's stoppage of play after every play in football, and of course basketball would be the competitor for soccer as far as stamina is concerned, certainly. But that field is so big. Larry Malloy and the folks here at Darling Stadium have done a great job as always.
Oh, they really have. The field looks great.
It really does look good. All this spring rain has kept the grass nice and green, and the extra attention that Larry and his group pay to the field. We're in the final moments of the ball game, of the soccer match. Good effort by the Hampton defender there.
We do want to thank Buckwalter Engraving and Island Hardware and Sporting Goods for helping us recognize the two players of the game.
A chance for the Crabbers now. They would love to avert a shutout, and they do.
All right, who got the goal?
That was number 6, I believe. That is Ashley Dobby.
Yay, Ashley! You know she's gonna go home and just not be on their sleep. There's Melissa killing.
So Ashley Dobby with a real fine effort to score in the final moments of the contest. And that will carry over, you know it will, because that's, as I said, this young team getting a late goal like this, and they, you would have thought they won the contest with that
Well,
goal.
I tell you, if you can avert a shutout, it's makes you feel real good.
And it happened none too soon as the game has ended. Time has expired. And as I said, just a superior effort by the Bethel Bruins. They clearly have the more talented players, but Hampton never gave up. as they continually kept the pressure on and got a goal with less than a minute remaining to bust up the shutout and end up on this final score: Bethel 4 and Hampton 1. And again, our players of the game for Bethel: Kira Mandigo,
Right.
and Melissa Parat for Hampton.
And we want to thank our sponsors.
We absolutely do. Zooms with numerous locations on the peninsula. By Gear Up Printing with Tommy Gear and those folks over there, 827-8277. And also by Woods Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director. Did we all the crew mentioned?
I think we've mentioned everybody.
All right, we're all set then. That's it. The final score: Bethel 4 and Hampton 1. For Bob Hintz and the entire Channel 46 crew, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon, everybody.